this button cowl uses just 2 stitches, the knit stitch and the purl stitch, but it's how they're combined and alternated which create these wonderful textured ridges going across and make it a really cosy cowl to make. So let's look at the pattern in detail. When you begin the pattern, you'll see at the beginning a series of abbreviations, so it's important to just read through those carefully, so when you come to reading the row 1 and 2, you'll understand what those abbreviations mean. So looking at the pattern in detail, you'll see at the beginning of row 1 and 2 it says RS and WS, right side and wrong side, and I'll talk about that in a moment. But now let's begin with the stitches. So looking at row 1, we're going to start with knit 3. So for a knit stitch, I always have to remember to have my yarn at the back, and then I'm ready to begin with my knit stitch. So insert the needle to create your cross, bring the yarn from the back, round, through the middle and off. I'm going to do 3 of those. 1, 2, 3. Then I look at the pattern, you can see there's a bracket sign. So if you read the bracket as one whole function, purl 1, comma, knit 3, and then it'll tell you after the bracket how many times you have to repeat that. So this bracket we need to repeat 4 times to the end of the row. So we need to do a purl stitch, and to do that I need to make sure my yarn is at the front of my work. So at the moment it's sitting at the back because I've just done a knit stitch. So to bring it to the front, I need to remember to always come between the 2 needles through the middle, not over the top, but through the middle. Now my yarn is sitting at the front, so I'm ready to do my purl stitch. So I insert my needle to the front, so my right hand needle is not lying over the front, and then I can work my purl stitch. Then looking at my bracket, I now need to knit 3, so I need to take my yarn from the front to the back again, through the middle to the back, and now I can do knit 3. Now I need to repeat this bracket 4 times, so that's my first time, so I need to now do it a further 3 times. So purl 1 again, going back to the beginning of the bracket, purl 1, bring it to the front, purl 1. Knit 3, take the yarn to the back, knit 3. And again, purl 1, bring it to the front, knit 3, take it to the back. And for the final 4th time, yarn to the front, purl 1, take it to the back, knit 3, and I'm at the end of my row. And that's the end of row 1. So now I need to turn my knitting over, pass the needle into my left hand, so now all the stitches are now on my left needle, ready again to pass over to my right needle. So now I'm looking at row 2, and it tells me to knit 1, so yarn at the back, knit 1, then purl 1, bring the yarn to the front through the middle of my 2 needles, and then I'm just going to stop, whoops, and look at my bracket, and it says knit 3, purl 1 4 times. So I've just taken my yarn to the back, and I'm now ready to knit 3. 1, 2, 3, and then I need to do a purl, bring it forward and purl 1. So that's the first of my repeats. So that's 1, I need to do that 3 more times. Knit 3, and then purl 1, again, knit 3, purl 1, and my final repeat of the bracket, knit 3, purl 1, and don't panic at this point because you have 1 stitch left, because if you read the rest of your row it says until you have 1 stitch remaining, knit 1. So yarn to the back, ready to knit 1, and there we're done. The end of row 2. So that's it. It's just a matter of repeating rows 1 and 2 back and forth, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, over and over again until you've knitted the full length of your cowl, depending on how long you want it to be. I just want to show you quickly the tip about the right side and the wrong side. So if I lay my knitting down and I come back to it after a time and pick it up and want to know whether I'm on the first row or the second row of the pattern, the easiest way to check is by looking at the little tail. And the little tail that we made when we did our slip stitch at the beginning, when it's the right side facing, will always be lying on the left hand side of my work. So when I pick it up, I know I'm ready to start knitting a row 1 pattern, which is the right side. If on the other hand, when I come back and my little tail is sitting on the other side, on the right hand side of my knitting piece, then I know I'm going to be working on a row 2 pattern, a wrong side pattern. So it's just a useful tip to remember. So there you have your pattern.